Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and we had a little hiatus here, even though we've taped like a whole season in advance, because they have the summer camp here at the MCAT studio, so it's just strictly for children. But we got an exception today to do this taping here. And we are in the backdrop with green screen technology with the dream team from the Olympics. Yeah, this was the Summer Olympic Games, and they...
Was it this year?
No. I don't know what year. The information says 1968, but that can't be correct.
Yeah.
I don't know what year this actually was, but some of the players on here, you may recognize them, like Larry Bird, who played for the Boston Celtics, I believe it was. Yeah. And I believe that's Michael Jordan there too, behind him, the Chicago Bulls. Karl Malone on the second to on the left of your screen, and all the other players that I wouldn't have time to mention them all. But what it was is they got all the best of the players of the basketball teams, plural, at that time, and they had a match.
Interesting.
Yeah, USA really did the deed.
That's great. Yeah, I never watched the Olympics because I'm not really a sports fan, so...
Well, this was, the Olympics is more of, we'll get into that in a bit, but let me make some acknowledgments. I am Asaph Adonai, and our special guest is Matthew Twichell. He is sitting on my left here, and on my further left, affectionately once again, our aging rocker, Emmett. And won't you lower that there? I think it's blocking your...
Oh.
There you
like
go.
A surreal joke.
Yeah, he does a lot of surreal stuff.
Blocking my view.
Blocking his view. But anyway, there's the Iowa sign there. And Emmett, you want to start us off?
Heavenly Father, bless our food and our time together in Jesus' name.
Thank you. All right. Now, like I said, I'm a little off kilter here because I haven't done this show.
I know. Same here. Same here.
And I couldn't think of a better person to start this taping off than with you because... our special guest, Matthew, here, not only does he have the U.S. flag waving, and that fits in with our Olympics, but you ran the marathon, the Missoula half marathon. And so I wanted to talk about that, just some of the other things you wanted to talk about. And I have this watch here, and I don't think my candelabra is showing up. Let's see if I...
Oh, yeah, the candelabra, yes.
Let's see if it'll show. It probably, just barely. I'll put it here so it'll...
Did you get new candles for it? Or?
Yes, I did. You can barely see it. It's right next to, I think that's the third guy. I can't remember his name right now, standing next to Larry Bird. It's been so many years. I'll put that candelabra there. Let's start off with a tune here again.
We spin inside the dryer. The spinning dryer. Will dance for us today. It's fascinating to look at the dryer dance for us today. Isn't it a fascinating theorem? Like an algebraic equation.
You know the song, Matt, don't you?
Yeah.
This guy's in love with you.
Yeah.
Burt Bacharach.
Oh yeah, anytime I'm doing the dishes and I'm listening to easy listening like this, often I just sing along to it. Oh, my weird songs about washers and dryers. Isn't that fascinating? You should see the way I change all the ABBA songs. If they have an instrumental of ABBA, yeah. We're spinning in the dryer, that kind of thing, The Fernando's.
We'll get into that in a moment.
Sorry, folks, about my allergies, but yeah, I've got still allergies. That's another attack.
Oh, I'm sure they're not worried about it.
We might even talk about that. I've got some news.
We'll get into that.
Fascinating.
And here's the conclusion.
The spinning dryer.
Guy's in Love with You is the name of that song. That song goes way back.
Yeah, it does.
My parents used to listen to that song when I was a kid. Did you ever see the original version of that song when it was first introduced on television?
No.
Herb Alpert, do you remember him?
Yeah.
Famous trumpeter of the
Yep.
past. He was the one that sang that, and he was on the Carpenter show, I believe, at that time. And since his name is Herb, they had a big giant H that they built on a prop, and they had him sitting on the line, you know, where the letter H is, and he had his trumpet, and he was singing that song, and it just sounded so cool.
Wow.
And then he picks up that trumpet, he plays that solo, that melody at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, I almost want to take trumpet lessons.
Yeah.
Man, nobody plays a trumpet like Herb Alpert.
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I got another one of his records, I think, from Eric Candy. I'm not plugging part of the record, but I got a couple more of his records, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it was very nice. Perfect. It sounded so much, one of them, just one of my favorites, I haven't listened to it for a while, sounded so much like old grocery store music from the 60s. It was just wonderful. You know, like they used to play at Lucky's. I was so happy. Spinning triumph. Oh, the Olympics, yes. I guess, yeah, the Olympics was more to promote world peace or cooperation between nations for sports. Wasn't that the idea? I don't know.
The theme to the Olympics. My little feeble version of it anyway. But yeah, I don't know about the history of the Olympics when it first started.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool because it brings nations together.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, yeah.
And yeah, you know, and it promotes peace. Yeah, I give you
Yeah,
that.
interesting.
And of course, I like the Winter Olympics
Yeah.
because I like the summer too, and I enjoy like watching figure skating, and you know what is it, the gymnastics.
Yep.
I don't know if that's in the summer or that sort of thing, but that's a lot of fun. I tried gymnastics when I was in high school because, you know, if you look at me, I'm pretty well thin now. I was a lot thinner then, so my body worked a lot better then, so I could do some things. I used to do the high bar, and I used to do the parallel bar, because at one time I could flip myself upside down, literally, and support myself on my shoulders. Oh, that's unthinkable trying to do that now.
You know,
I break my neck trying that now.
You know, I was just, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's right, go ahead.
I was just thinking, why can't they have the science fiction Olympics where people pretend to fire lasers and make science fiction movies, and like from different countries, but they all try to do, let's have a competition who can fire the most lasers, in space or in the science fiction movies. Dress up in the best robot costumes, firing lasers. I'd be watching that all the time. The science fiction Olympics. Oh! I would love it so much! For 5 days we're into science fiction space war Olympics! Oh my God, Sam! Wow, what a great idea! What a great idea! With someone to do that! I would be watching that all the time. I'd be looking forward to that so much.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be fun for you there.
Yeah. Because if you're not a sports fan, like I'm really not, I've got nothing against sports. I think it's fine and good exercise. I'm nothing morally wrong with sports. If you're a sports fan, awesome. It's just, I guess I'm more science fiction.
Well, you
fantasy.
know, when I was in junior high school, my coach, his name was Larry DePrado, Coach DePrado. He was the actual Olympian champion as a young man, for real. I think he held the title in the mid-'60s. It was the universe title my coach, junior high. And he was such a cool guy. When I was a kid, though, he was intimidating because I was young. And I used to watch him when he'd do his bench press. He'd be taking, you know, those big bars, those weights on, he'd flex it like this in one hand. I'd be like,
yeah.
And then when I got in high school, he was still teaching at the junior high because my high school was close to my junior high. They're like right next to each other. And then he got the job from the junior high to the high school. Hey, Asaph, let's play chess, man. Oh, no, coach, because you know if you play me, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
He was so good at physical things.
Yeah.
And he was a fine chess
Yeah.
player. I was just better.
I did not know you played chess.
Yeah, I was on a chess team in high school.
Oh, I love playing chess.
Yeah, we'll get into yeah, I did. And so he would always say, "Hey Sam, come on boy, let's play chess." I'm like, "Come on, coach, not again."
Uh-huh.
I would whoop him every time.
That is amazing. Yeah, I love chess.
And I would feel bad about it because, I consider him a friend. But
Yeah.
you gotta put the friendship aside when you're playing chess.
Yeah. Well, it's
I
just
said,
a
"Okay, coach, remember, we're friends, but this is a game, right?"
Yeah.
He was a good sport.
Yeah, I often always lose. I've often lost a lot, because I've played a lot of chess games with a lot of friends, but it doesn't matter. I just think it's fascinating, even if I lose, and it's just, oh yeah, a friend of mine and I, we would drink beer and play chess, and it was kind of like slaughter chess. He's passed away now, sadly, but like often there'd be no pieces on the board.
Uh-huh.
One time, you know how you can get to across the board, a pawn can become a queen?
Uh-huh.
There were 3 queens to my king. I was finished. And sometimes we just play slaughter chess, all the pieces would be gone from the board. We'd take each other's pieces, this, the whole rules. Okay, and wow, once you get 3 queens and on 1 king, the game is over, Sometimes we would just be king to king. That's the way we would play. Sometimes I would win, sometimes he would win. Very interesting. But chess is a great game. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
Oh, I love it. It's just fascinating. If you know the
I
rules.
played chess all through junior high and high school, and I was on a team, and I wasn't like the best. I
Yeah.
was decent, but I was good enough. Good enough to beat the coach all the time.
Yeah.
He never ever beat me in a game of chess, ever. In all the years that I had known him when I was in high school, because I started getting better as each year at that time, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But he just always insisted. He tried his best to beat me. For the 4 years I was in high school, and he never could.
And chess is the only board game I like. I don't even like checkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like Clue or Risk. All the other games bore me, but chess is great. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Chess is the only board game that I like. And a lot of people love board games and
I got a
Monopoly.
question for you. Queen to Kings level 1. Do you remember that?
I've heard of it.
Queen to Kings level 1, and the answer was King to Kings level 2, I believe it was.
And that was on
from
Star Trek.
yeah.
Yes.
That was a code that Captain Kirk created. They went to this planet insane.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound insensitive.
Yeah.
Because it's a television show, you guys.
Right.
And I would never pick on people with mental challenges. But they had this episode where they went to this insane asylum on this planet. And one of the inmates knew how to change his physical structure.
Right.
So what he does is he locks up the owner that was trying to heal them, the physician that was trying to heal them, turns himself into the physician. So when Captain Kirk comes down to that planet, he thinks he's speaking to the physician, but he's really speaking to the mentally challenged guy that took over that planet, that colony. And so Kirk came up with this chess move just before beaming down so that there'd be no room for error, which is King to Queens level 1.
Yes.
It's King to Kings level 2.
Yes.
The answer. So if they didn't know that chess move, then they would know, the Enterprise would know something is wrong. So Kirk goes down there, and of course that guy turns himself into Captain Kirk, and he's like, "Beam me up." And Scotty's like, "King to Queens level 1."
Yeah.
And he couldn't answer it, see. So
Yeah.
he's all ticked off.
Oh, yeah.
He goes and messes with Kirk for the
Yeah.
show. And it was a really interesting episode.
Yeah, it was. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the episode, Kirk gets control of the planet, and the physician gets control, and then they go on and treat the inmates once again like they had intended.
Yeah.
So the guy that changed himself, they healed him. They
Yeah.
the process. It was just a beautiful scene at the end.
It was. Yeah.
But that was a fun episode to watch.
Yeah, it was.
But what that guy put those people through on that planet,
Oh, yeah.
he was able to shift and change his body into any person he wanted to be.
Thing is, he used to be an excellent starship captain.
Yeah, and can you imagine if you have mental illness and you could change yourself into somebody? You imagine the havoc you could wreak on a person. Anyway, let's get to a more serious topic.
Yeah.
Now, you just got through running in the marathon, right? It was called
the half marathon.
Half marathon.
they had two things going on: the half marathon and the full marathon.
Do you remember what day it was? Was it like?
It was the 9th, July the 9th.
July 9th?
A Sunday.
Oh, yes.
And what made you decide to get into?
Well, I'm not really a marathoner. This was something new to me, but I had a friend. His name is Rob, and he had run it before, and he challenged me because he thought I could do it because he knows that I'm at least a walker, so he figured I could do it.
And that's how.
Well, I said I wasn't sure. I'll think about it. Then I had me an appointment a few days later, maybe a week before the race.
Okay.
With my cancer doctor, and she's a running enthusiast, Dr. Margaret Menendez at St. Patrick's Hospital. And when she found out that I was even thinking about entering the race, she got all excited about it, and she says, "Oh, you gotta do it." So she says, "I'll be a sponsor. I'll register you online. I'll even pay the registration fee, which is considerable, $80, you know." So I said, "Okay, I'll do it."
Okay, so that's how you got involved in that. And she sponsored you to run that?
Yeah.
Did you have a choice between the full and the half marathon?
Yeah, you had a choice, yeah.
And you chose the half marathon, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, no, I don't mean that critically. I mean, because like some people, like in those movies, you know, if they run a marathon and even if it's way over, they're still up there trying to get to that finish line. So I didn't know if that's what you were thinking or whatever. Yeah. But I want to congratulate you for seriously for doing that. That's quite a accomplishment. Actually, you know, to be able to run that. How many miles was that?
13 miles.
13 miles. How long did it take you to do that?
Well, it took me quite a while, over 5 hours, because I developed really bad leg cramps.
Oh, you've been doing that?
The last 4 miles of the race.
Did you have much time to prepare for this run here? Or did you just go out there cold turkey and just do it?
It was pretty much cold turkey there.
Yeah, because they usually, a lot of these runners, they usually have time to prepare. Like they start eating, they change their diet, they start eating right, maybe stretching or something. But no, that's commendable. That's really commendable. And you've got this medal here. May I take a closer look at it? Then we'll have you put it back on. I may not do much physical playing here. This is called the Missoula Half Marathon. It's dated July 9, 2017. That was with, let's see if it'll show up on the camera here. It should, that gives you an idea there. It'll be more clear in the other television there.
Okay.
But I wanted to congratulate you on that. That's pretty cool that you were able to do that. Emmett, you can look at that medal?
No, I haven't. Interesting.
Now, that's just for running the event, right? Now,
Well,
they have like...
you have a choice of running or walking, or...
So you must have done a combination of both then.
Well, I started doing a combination of both. But the last part of it, the last 4 miles, I was limping because of my cramps.
Now, I have to ask you, did you have people with you when you were running that are near you just in case something happened?
Oh, yeah, there was people everywhere, and there was volunteers. Yeah, I'd like to thank
Go ahead.
Run Wild Missoula for planning and executing this race, and they had hundreds, probably thousands of volunteers along the entire route. Okay. And they would always were running up to people that were in the race, especially if they were struggling a little bit, asking them if they needed water or Gatorade. So you had refreshments all along the way.
That's good.
And then I would like to take this time too to
Go ahead.
to thank the people that made this race possible.
Go ahead.
I'd like to thank my cancer doctor, Margaret Menendez, who sponsored me in the first place.
Why don't you look in that camera and you can acknowledge them too.
Thank you, Dr. Margaret Menendez.
Okay.
And also my general doctor provider, Dr. Elizabeth Paddock.
Thank you, Doctor.
Partners in Healthcare.
All right.
And my massage therapist, Diana Wakefield.
Okay.
And also at St. Patrick's, the head kitchen chief, Mary Jo.
Okay.
And my daughter, who works at Aging Services, Jenna Twichell. All of these people encouraged me, gave me encouragement.
Why don't you
enter
tip your
the
hat
race.
to them so they can see your full face too? So here, thank you all for supporting Matthew here, and I'm sure the community of Missoula is probably very grateful for that, because that's a wonderful
And
thing that
I
they
was
do.
very, very impressed with all the volunteers in the race. They not only gave you like physical support, like giving you liquid refreshments, so you wouldn't become dehydrated. But they also cheered you on.
Oh, so
a lot
you
of
could
them
see a
had,
crowd around while you're running this
yeah,
race and all
they would
that?
put sprinkler. Some of these streets were closed off. They would put sprinklers on the sidewalks and the streets. So, runners and walkers could run through the sprinklers and cool off. And also, I'd like to acknowledge and thank all the law enforcement personnel. They would stop, hold up the traffic, you know, as the runners and walkers would cross these critical intersections. And they also were strong supporters of everyone that was running and walking the race. They would encourage everybody along the way and congratulate them.
Cool.
And also, you know, I'll have to admit, there were a couple of times that I probably wanted to even quit, you know, the race. Those last 4 miles was absolute torture with those cramps and those leg cramps, and but I couldn't. There was too many people that were pulling for me, supporting me.
I can understand. So that would give you
And
that
then all the
incentive to keep
people
going.
along the way, that neighborhoods you would go through, I had no idea that it had so much community support. And I got a very vivid memory coming off of the few miles you went on the Blue Mountain road, and then you turn down across the bridge and going into the target range area. I got a very vivid memory of this gentleman in his nice house with his big yard, fenced yard, with a grand piano out there.
That was
playing classical music. It was very heartening.
he does that every year.
It really lifts your spirit up.
Yeah, he goes out there. He goes out and plays that piano every year for the marathon, I understand, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He had his tux on too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. That's way cool.
He had a nice tie on, and he was.
Yeah, Gary. I don't want to mention his last name. I'll embarrass him on TV. But he's a fine pianist. You know,
And,
plays extremely well, and that's an interesting way to support the community if you think about it. I think Missoula is probably the only city in the world that there is a pianist out there playing classical music while people are running a marathon or a half marathon.
Yeah. And
Did
then
he have his little tent out there too, his little awning or whatever it was, or was he just out in the open this year?
just out in the open.
Yeah, that's way cool.
Yeah.
That is just way cool.
And then I would just like to mention too, anybody that's, I hate to use that term, physically handicapped, so let's just say physically challenged.
Okay.
I had myself a really bad auto accident 6 years ago, and it's affecting me to this day. I've got permanent nerve damage in my foot. My foot is always has this numb feeling.
But see, that's amazing that you were able to run that marathon, considering the challenges you're going through now.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I'm just saying that if I can do it, no matter what your physical challenges might be, if I can do it, I feel anybody can do it.
Well, that's an encouragement. You know, if somebody can hear your story and see what you've gone through, and then see your triumphs, and you know that's encouraging to other people that might be watching this episode or will watch it in the future.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
And then in addition to that foot injury, I've developed in the last 6 months a pinched nerve in my lower back. It's been diagnosed as a pinched nerve.
Okay, because see, you know, what Emmett doesn't know is Matt was on this show once before, about 2 years ago. And he was, when we did season 1, this is before you and I had he did the 2 Christmas shows that we did at that time. So your audience can look that up too. Asaph Cafe season 1, episode 12, I believe, was part 1 and 2.
Well, what happens when that pinched nerve problem kicks in, the whole left leg, it affects my left leg. That was where my major
And that
injury
came from
was.
the accident at that time?
No, this pinched nerve is something that's just more recent. But what it does is my whole left leg will become numb, not just
Okay.
my foot.
Right.
And it's just hard to put like your full weight on it. So
Okay.
I had to overcome that numbness in my leg and my foot and leg cramps all at the same time.
So you went through those challenges before you ran this this race here?
Well,
Did I say that right? Yeah.
no, that pinched nerve isn't always there. You just never know when it's going to kick in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But the numbness in the foot is always there.
Okay.
But when you got the numbness in the leg, it's a bigger problem
Right.
because you just have trouble putting your full weight on your leg that's affected.
Okay.
And I overcame that and leg cramps in my hamstrings there. And but I had too many people that were. I know I had too many people that were rooting for me.
Yeah,
Plus
you can't.
Plus the neighborhood crowds were all cheering for you. So.
And now you're on Asaph Cafe telling your story. That's kind of the
And I was.
cream of the crop there.
Really appreciated all the community support. I had no idea there was such great community support in Missoula.
Well, thanks for lending your support by being part of this show and get a chance to tell your story. So.
And I found out that all 50 states were represented in the marathon.
But they were here in Missoula, right?
Yeah, people from
Wow.
50 different states and
I did not know that.
and 9 foreign countries.
Oh, I did not know that.
I did not know that. I thought that was just a local Missoula.
Yeah, same here. I just,
Oh, I did learn something there. I really did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was a great experience and a lot of fun.
Well, while we're talking, let me interview you and ask you a few questions. Are you originally from Missoula?
No, I'm from Alaska.
Oh, really? I was born in Alaska. What part of Alaska?
I was a place called near McGrath.
Okay, I was born in Fairbanks. My father was stationed at Ladd Air Force Base up there at the
Oh.
time. Ladd is closed
Yeah.
now, so you probably would know that
Yeah,
base, but
yeah.
that's where I was born.
Hmm.
Yeah. And, wow, small world, Alaska. Okay, yeah, Alaska rules. Yeah, that's where I was born. I grew up in Sacramento, though, but I was born in Alaska, so that's
Yeah.
cool. And how long have you been living in Missoula now?
Well, I've been down here in Montana for, doesn't seem like it, I guess 20 years now.
Oh, good. Yeah, I've been here 20.
But most of that time it was down in the Bitterroot in the Florence area.
Yeah, I've been here 21 years in Montana now. Not in Missoula. Billings 12, and I think Missoula almost 10 now. Something like that. Perfect song for you. And don't you dare run in slow motion.
But I've overcome a lot of obstacles in my life.
Good for you.
As a kid, I almost froze to death once in Alaska. I was in the process of freezing to death.
How did that come about?
Well, it's kind of a long story, and we got a short session.
It's your show.
I was, I suppose I was like about 5 years old, and we had an airport that was on top this, I guess I can call it a mountain.
Okay.
It wasn't a huge mountain, but, and the road going around, it didn't go like straight up. It had like a switchback. You had to go this long road around, so it was like probably a mile and a half, something like that. And it was in the dead of winter, and temperatures like around 60 below. So I followed these two kids up to the airstrip. It's a gravel airstrip on top of this mountain, and I followed them up there, and I got tired. So
Oh no.
I started, like a little kid there, I was probably starting to cry and all that kind of stuff. I was tired, and they wouldn't. They decided to just leave me there because they thought I was too much of a burden.
Wow.
So I just went to sleep on top of this airstrip, and they went back to town. And it was in the wintertime, so it got dark really early there.
Yeah.
And so nobody could find me. My mother was looking for me, and she couldn't find me. So she had people running through are crawling through dog houses. Thought maybe I'd gone into one of these sled dog houses. Or then she had people going looking on the river because the river had what they call overflows on them, where even though there's like a few feet thick ice, there's soft spots in the ice where there's open waters. They call them overflows. So she had them checking all the overflows, and she was getting frantic because nobody had knew where I was or claimed they didn't know where I was. So these two kids, they were like between 10 and 12 years old, I'd say. They finally said, "Oh, he might be at the airstrip."
That's right, Malcolm. Well, thank good Lord that you got rescued there.
So
that's pretty neat. I'm glad you got found.
Yeah, so they found me up there on the airstrip, and I was in the process of going to sleep. That's the process, when
they say you're not supposed to go to sleep
to death.
not to go to sleep, if I remember.
So I was turning blue, and
wow. Well, you're here now, and you're on the cafe today. And Emmett, how have you been? Because I haven't seen you in quite a while.
Oh yeah, I've been pretty much okay, ups and downs. Just my allergy shots. Well, my allergies, as you know, still come and go. They're not as bad, but I was having an allergy attack today. Now, I used to get allergy shots twice a week at the allergy clinic. But now it's just once a week because I'm on bottle C. They have concentrates for your allergies. I'm on a higher concentration, so now it's only once a week because they say twice a week would be too much. Soon I'll start bottle D, which is its highest dose maintenance, and I'll just do that for a few years. Also, I've noticed on my vision, well, these glasses aren't working the way they used to. And I don't know, it's just, I was, it's very hard to see fine print. I have to have reading glasses. And even I was at the Thomas Mar bars having some really nice Belgium ale. It was a nice draft thing. Oh, I loved it. But even with these glasses, I could not read the print on the draft, things where you pour the draft beer night as. That blue thing, what is that on the far right? Never mind, it says Belgium white ale. And I said, well, this is a blue thing and has yellow on it, but I can't read that. So I've made an appointment with a Rocky Mountain Eye Center. They're going to look at my eyes. I may new prescription glasses.
Well, yeah, that'll help you, though, if you get that. All right, man, I have to ask you, do you know the name of that last song that I just played?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the name of it is? I'll do it again in case, You recognize it? You don't recognize, huh? Don't recognize it?
No?
That is called, does anyone know what time it is? Okay. That's by a group called Chicago. I'm surprised you don't recognize it.
Yeah, I never listened to shows.
Well, I have to remember that these songs now are like 30, 40 years old, some of them. So the younger generations come up, they're just not going to know these songs.
Yeah. How have you been, Asaph? I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, we had that hiatus as I talked about.
You know anything by Floyd Kramer? One of my favorite songs is Last Date.
Oh, I don't remember. I know of it. But here's one of the songs he did. See if you can tell me if you know it.
Snowbird?
Yeah, there you go.
Snowbird, yeah.
Oh, on Easy 102 KUEZ Missoula, back in the 80s, was an easy listening station. They had an instrumental version of that, and I have it recorded somewhere. Beautiful! I love it. It's one of my favorite easy listening songs of all time.
Well, Floyd Kramer was a famous pianist of the past that
fascinating.
Yeah, he played the last
Last Date,
and a bunch of other
Rebound.
songs. Yeah, he was quite the pianist. I think he was the original pianist for Patsy Cline too. History says.
Wow.
As a young man before he
branched
out on his own.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch him on television just barely when I was growing up, and He was quite good.
Yeah, he was-
that was just
Guy could play a
wonderful.
lot of stuff on the piano.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot of
Floyd
instrumentals.
Craven. I don't even think anybody will ever remember him now, but man, what the pianist did
Oh
that
man,
guy
what a
was.
player! Yeah, what a
He
piano
was,
player.
yeah. Roger Williams too. You know,
Yeah, Roger
remember
Williams.
him?
Oh yeah.
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 With that awesome auto bleed.
Yeah.
And he'd glide down the piano and play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, speaking of him, you know, I got really hooked on him. You know, I got hooked on Roger Williams. When I was a kid, I saw him on, I think it was the Ed Sullivan Show. And they were doing a song by Sergio Mendes, not Green Onions, but it had a melody that went like this. Let me do again. Hold on. I can't think of the name of it, but it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, I saw Roger Williams playing his version of that on television, and I got hooked.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna start watching this guy.
You know that song "Today" by the New Christy Minstrels?
Not well enough to play publicly.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, they just had some interesting piano players come out of the past. Of course, the one and only Liberace.
Yeah.
Emmett and I did an episode, I think it was you, where we were in Liberace's home. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Yeah, we had Liberace in the background.
Yeah.
With that candelabra.
Oh, yeah.
And that fancy piano he was playing.
Yeah. Oh, that guy, he was a great player.
And it was so fun. So Emmett and I put ourselves at Liberace's home. And
Yep.
that's about the closest to Liberace's home I'll ever get.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to Roger Williams, he's one of the reasons why I play the piano today. I saw him on television. I was like, that's what I want to do.
Amazing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, that guy just, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they called him Mr. Piano. They had a nickname for Floyd Kramer too, but I can't remember what it was. And they were both great players. They were just different.
Yeah, different styles.
Yeah, different styles. And they
Yeah.
pretty much dominated what I think was the 60s at that
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
And then there were other people of the past. What is that composer you and I always talk about? Kempfert.
Yes.
Bert Kempfert. You remember
Bert Kempfert.
Yeah, and he had this song. You remember this? Oh, I don't remember how I did it again. That's better. Yeah, Swingin' Safari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Mottola was another one. He played guitar, soft guitar.
Yeah.
His nickname was Mr. Big.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I learned that on 947 Easy Listening Station. Yeah, I've got a couple of his albums.
You still listen to that Easy Listening Station?
Oh,
now?
yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I was listening to that last night when I was doing the dishes. Yep.
Cool. Well, that's great. And Matt, this is, you know, we've got about 15 minutes left. The time just goes by real quick.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got through
And
that
Emmett and I
much.
usually do 2 tapings, you know, usually. I don't know how you're feeling. You up for a second show, Emmett?
Probably. I'll see. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see. But I'm glad I got to do this show today because
Yes.
I wanted to catch up. Now, were there any other last minute things you wanted to talk about while we still have time? You did your acknowledgement. You talked about your challenges in the running, which I think is a great accomplishment. And stuff like that.
Oh, well, one thing I can think of, another thing that I'm a survivor of, since it's something that just happened recently in Montana,
Okay.
a 5.8 earthquake.
Oh,
Yes.
I was in that too.
Yes.
I survived a 9.2 earthquake in Anchorage, Alaska,
I'm not surprised.
March of '64. It's also known as a Great Alaska Earthquake, also known as a Good Friday Earthquake.
Yeah, I think my parents were gone from Alaska by that time.
And it sent a tidal wave over 2,000 miles. It went all the way down coast of Oregon, and all the way down to the northern coast of California, then all the way as far as Baja, Mexico, which is just south of California.
Speaking of earthquakes, you know that one we had recently?
Yes.
It was like around 12:35 or so
Yes.
in the morning. I happened to be sitting out in front of my apartment on the staircase. So it was like humbling because when that quake hit, everything was shifting. I saw the whole parking lot just shift like this, like, holy cow, what's this?
You might find it hard to believe, but I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Okay.
Because after you've been to a 9.2, you think you can survive anything.
I guess. Yeah, but that was just weird. It just everything was shifting.
Yeah.
Like a big roller coaster, if I had to describe it.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, my first thought was, I wonder if the world's
I was looking at the wall, seeing if anything was going to fall off.
I was outside, and I was feeling it was rocket motion. I felt, oh man, Lord must be coming. The world must be coming to an end.
Yeah. I didn't like it at all. I remember it.
Oh, wow.
It woke me up asleep. I felt this jolt in my bed. I thought, is there an intruder? It woke me up out of a dream state or something, and I was sound asleep. And I thought, is there an intruder?
Yeah.
So I grabbed one of my weapons or something, just grabbed him to see, because I thought my home just got broken into. Thankfully, nothing was there, and I prayed about it. I didn't see anything, but I have a model of the USS Farragut from Star Trek on one of my bookcases in my bedroom. It fell down. That's the only thing that fell down. Thankfully, nothing else fell down, and I was worried something else, but I knew something happened because the Farragut fell down. It was a simple plastic model, and one of the wings is broken off, but it's a decoration on my bookcase, and it fell down onto the floor. Yep, model USS Farragut, yep. But that was scary. I thought my home had broken into, but then I realized, okay, it must have been an earthquake or something, and asked, was it an earthquake? Yeah. Later that day, yeah, it was an earthquake, yep. Wow.
Well, in addition to that big earthquake, the 9.2 one is March of 1964.
Yep.
I would say I've been through half a dozen that are 7 point or up or stronger. All in Alaska, which is earthquake country, I would say.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Alaska earthquakes occur in unpopulated areas.
That's good.
So they don't get a lot of news coverage, They happen in the wilderness somewhere. So.
Yep.
Now it's the theme of Star Trek.
Yep. Thankfully, my model wasn't broken.
Here it is.
I'm very glad my model wasn't broken. It had been broken already, sadly.
Wasn't the Farragut the ship that got destroyed in Star Trek?
Yeah. That's ironic, yeah. Yep, that's ironic, yep.
Okay. So, you want to have a Farragut hanging up in your room, and
I was just sitting on my bookcase and it fell down. Yep, amazing.
Yeah, Star Trek is such a cool show. You know what's amazing about Star Trek is how relevant that is in 2017.
I know.
And CBS announced a new Star Trek series is coming.
Yes.
It's coming this fall. Did you hear about it?
Yes.
CBS has a new Star Trek series coming out this fall, about a month or two from now.
Wow.
Based on William Shatner's Star Trek. They said this one's going to have some gadgets and
that'll be cool.
Planets and all kinds of things.
Wow.
Yeah. Because usually, the remakes always have stuff that's not really related to the TV series, if you know what I mean. So this is strictly Star Trek, the television series, the 60s version, but updated. I'm looking forward to it.
Same here.
Looking forward to it.
I can't wait.
I'll be watching that with interest, glued to the
TV
set. So I'm looking forward to it. But I watched Star Trek a lot when I was a kid. Yeah, my parents used to let me and my brother watch that on Friday night. We got to stay up an extra hour because when that show first came on regular television, I was in grade school at the time, and so my parents used to make us go to bed at a certain time, and we couldn't watch like a 9 or 10 o'clock show because we had to go to school. But Star Trek happened to come on Friday, so my parents gave us permission to stay up an extra hour, and we was watching original Star Trek. Do you have a favorite episode of Star Trek? At all from the series that you can remember? My personal favorite is the Doomsday.
Same here. That's my all-time favorite. Yeah.
That's the one. This big cone.
Yes.
Robot cone.
Yeah,
like a giant cone.
Giant funnel cone. Yeah.
A bunch of ships and planets. Yeah. It went around the universe eating up planets.
Yeah.
And so Captain Decker, his ship and crew went to investigate. They saw this planet being destroyed, and they saw that Doomsday machine out there. And the Doomsday machine destroyed his ship, killed his crew, and he was the survivor.
Yeah.
So he has some psychological issues because of survivor's guilt and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when he gets rescued by Captain Kirk, he hijacks Captain Kirk's ship, takes over. And he says, I'm going at that thing a second time. This thing, I'm going to kill this thing. So he takes over the ship because he's a Commodore, right? And he nearly gets the Enterprise destroyed, too, trying to get that thing. And when he realized he couldn't defeat this thing, then he commits suicide.
Yeah.
He takes the shuttlecraft and he
Yeah,
goes
exactly.
inside the thing and offs himself out of guilt because his whole crew was killed by this thing. But in the process of going in there and the shuttlecraft exploding, it weakened the Doomsday Machine. So Captain Kirk, he's always saving the day.
Yeah.
Hey, if I take his old ship and thrust it inside that thing and blow it up, we'll kill that thing.
Yeah.
Sure enough, it worked.
Yeah.
So Scotty rigs up Captain Decker's ship to explode in 30 seconds. Kirk goes into that thing with Decker's ship, and they beam him out of there.
Yeah. Awesome.
You know how Star Trek is.
Yeah.
And that thing, and so that Enterprise, I can't remember the name of his ship, but it blows up, right, and it takes out that Doomsday Machine with it.
Yeah. It was excellent. I had great space wars and space lasers and space battles between that funnel cone thing and the Enterprise, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, and some of the other interesting episodes, like, did you see the one about the half black, half white creatures?
They were an alien race.
There were 2 aliens left, and they were black on one side and white on the other. The one that was black on the left side and white on the right side hated the one who was white on the left side and black on the right side.
Yep.
You know where I'm going with this. So that depicted racism. What a brilliant writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think about it.
Yeah.
One of they wanted for the planet Charon, so all the ones that were black on the left side and white on the right side disliked the ones who were white on the left side and black on the right. That's just so clever. That so they wiped out their whole race because of their racism, their prejudice.
Yeah.
So there were just these 2 aliens left, and so they always hijack the Enterprise. I don't know, it's the same plot line, right?
Yeah.
So they take over Kirk's ship. All the bad guys always take over the ship.
Yeah.
They took over the ship. They went to Charon. They said, "You're taking us home, Captain Kirk. We're not going to your base and have all this negotiations to get home. We want to go home."
Yeah.
So they took over the ship, right?
Yeah.
And they go to Charon. They get to Charon. They find out their whole race is gone.
Yeah.
And Spock don't have no compassion. He's like,
Yeah.
"You mean to tell me all my people are dead?" And Spock's like, "All dead, sir."
Yep.
No, like, I feel bad for you. And the other one's like, "All of them?" "Every one of them." So they start fighting on the ship again, right? And when they fought, they had like these these like fire go over their body. They're like choking each other, and they're all like on fire, like just these little rays around them. And Kirk's like, "Haven't you 2 had enough? You've already killed your whole planet. Stop it!"
Yeah.
So they didn't want to stop fighting. So one of them just gets in a transporter and goes to the planet, and the other one goes after him.
Yeah.
Kirk's like, "We're done.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't fix these guys. They're just gonna stay on this planet and fight anyway. Let them fight it out."
Yeah.
But that episode got a science fiction award.
Wonderful.
It did, because of the topic. But see, I'm looking at our timing. We're almost out of time. But the point of that episode is that the topic that dealt with, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think racism is the stupidest
Oh, it is.
thing.
Yeah.
No, think about it. Like when I grew up, so what?
Yeah.
'Cause I lived in Taiwan most of my life as a kid. And, so what? I had a lot of Asian, Chinese friends I went to school with. So what?
Yeah, there's good and bad in every race.
I understand that, but I'm just talking about when you're teaching your children.
Exactly.
"Oh, I don't like you because your hair is blonde." I'm like, get over it.
Yeah.
Well, so much for that. But anyway, Star Trek is very relevant, and so they've got this new series coming out. I'm looking forward because they're going to get it probably all political in some of these episodes here. And
sounds like it's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw the trailer to it. Man, this Enterprise they have now just makes the one we're used to just look like a toy.
Mm-hmm.
Lighting, gadgetry, and everything, and they've done like 10 Star Trek films.
Yeah, they have.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's amazing considering Star Trek bombed when it first went on the air.
Yeah.
It only lasted like three years or something.
Yeah, I think one reason Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner hated each other. I heard that they couldn't work together. They couldn't stand each other.
Well, you know how actors are; they're always so temperamental. But that's probably why they're such great actors.
Yeah.
Those moody actors are the ones that get all the awards. They're the ones that get the Emmys and all that, make the show last forever and ever and ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Rod Serling and all those Twilight Zones.
That was great. That was wonderful.
They were.
Yeah. And, MeTV is showing all the old shows of the past. Are you familiar with MeTV? Channel 13.2. You don't have to have cable. You know how you have like 13, KECI?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, if you turn your channel to 13.2, 24 hours, they have all the shows like Gilligan's Island, Lost in Space, and even the Twilight Zone. And let's see, they're showing the Alf series now.
Yeah, they are. They are, finally.
The Alien.
Elf, yeah.
Yeah, so... But it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Now, of course, the type humor on those shows are different than today.
Uh-huh. No.
But it's fun. It's fun to watch those shows. And Alf, boy, he sure got in trouble the other day. Did you see that episode?
Sometimes I've watched it, sometimes I forget to watch. What did they do?
This is the one where Tanner's neighbor, her house got robbed.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I saw the second half. I saw the second half. Yeah, I saw that.
In that house. And they don't know Alpha's in there. He's like, you'll never take me alive. You know?
I remember that. It was excellent.
Egging it on.
Yeah, that was excellent. It was hilarious.
So, yeah, that was a funny episode. And Willie got him out of that situation by setting up these walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
With Alf in his little hamper. Mm-hmm. Sneaked him out of there. And then when the police invaded the house, they saw the walkie-talkie. So they just played it off like the guy was long distance away. Great diversion.
Yeah, I've seen the first part of that. It was a two-parter. I wish I hadn't missed the first one. But unfortunately, Alf wanted to be in charge of being block captain. He wanted to be block captain. That was the one
I was talking about. That was
exactly. That first one, though, he almost ruined the neighborhood watch because he started giving people insulting code names like horse meat or phantom or whatever. And I thought it was Willie. That was Willie Denton. Oh, that was hilarious.
Well, Alf was the #1 show on NBC in its heyday. It was, but this is before the Cosby Show came out and took over. And so that's for another story. Any last final words you want to say? We're totally out of time. Any final words you want to say before we sign off?
No, I just don't think that anything is too tough if it's physically challenging.
Right.
You can do it. I did it. So anybody can do it.
And that serves as a great encouragement. Emmett, any final words?
I don't think I would be able to run a marathon. I do have the arthritis on my feet and Dupuytren's, but I'm glad you were able to run. Yeah, my feet would cramp up,
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's a marathon or anything else that's challenging like that, you don't have to do it alone. You can do it with a group of friends.
Yeah.
Make it a group kind of thing.
I wanted to say before we sign up, if you want to keep that flag, you might as well just keep it.
Okay.
Remember the occasion.
Go America. Go USA.
Let me make you a quick copy of this show to take with you today when we sign off. Now, when I sign off, don't move until I shut everything down. It'll only take a moment. I'm sorry. Push on. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of this version of Asaph Cafe. I'm your host, Asaph Adonai, and our guest again, Matthew Twichell, and he ran the half marathon, the Missoula half marathon, and we decided to put him on with the dream team from the Olympics.
And thank all you people that supported, the community people the community as a whole that supported the marathon.
And affectionately, on my further left, our aging rocker Emmett. And so until our next show, Maranatha.
This guy's in love with you.
And that freeze right there, that's kind of my theme song. You guys make yourself at home, give me a moment to shut everything down, and then you can walk up there.